You've been through this before. How do you feel about league play with this particular team as you guys get ready to get started?
I feel good. I feel ready to produce.
How are you guys confident, Breein? We see the non-conference schedule and everything, the success y'all have had, but is there still the feeling of we really have something to prove in conference play?
Definitely. Your work is never over. So we're going to keep grinding, keep attacking every practice like we have been doing, and not just get overexcited because it's an SEC league game play. So we're just going to, take what coach gives us in the scouting report and attack it this week and play as hard as we can come Saturday night.
What have you all been focusing on in practice this week?
Just details that coach puts into our practice plan, and we attack it as hard as we can, and we'll execute it in the game.
Obviously, it's about to get harder with the competition, but do you think this is the best offensive stretch you've had in your career here? I mean, your points per game are up. And what has changed for you?
Honestly, it's about time. I've been starting my freshman year and sophomore year. I had a chance to do numbers, and it's just, like I said, just time being put into the game, and it's coming back in a good way for me.
Vanderbilt obviously had a big injury that they kind of almost had to reset as a team a little bit. What have you seen from them in recent games? Like they beat Arizona State, they've had some nice wins. How have they kind of changed as a team since losing Garland?
You could tell they just know that they're a good team. They got good players, and when you lose one really good player, they still have a lot of high major guys over there. So I did watch their game against Arizona State, and I was really impressed. They closed out the game really well, and we'll use that game of film tape, and we'll try and take out some things that we could use against them.
Is there anything in particular that stands out to you that makes you think y'all are better equipped to win road games in league play than you were a year ago?
Yes, and that's, like I just said, the preparation that we put in every day in practice and our plan going into the game. It really helps when you know what you're supposed to be doing, especially on the defensive end when you're playing away, and there's a lot of noise and, there's a lot of distractions. So I say the preparation is the biggest thing when it comes to that.
How is the preparation different? I mean, you guys have talked about preparation a lot relative to, in the past. Are things different in that regard?
I've always gotten a scouting report, but I would say Coach Kermit's scouting report is easier to understand, and I feel like it's being executed at a higher level just because a lot of guys are just buying in more, and maybe it's just a culture change, but it's just been working, and we're going to keep working hard and trying to get wins for the team.
What about it is easier to understand? Is it just the wording, more just better details?
Like I just said, it's just a whole culture change, and even last year we had a great team and it's the same talent, but give a lot of credit to Coach and his planning that he uses going into games. And I think if you watch some of the film, you could really see a lot of the plays that we execute and how we guard different things. We know what we're doing and our communication with each other. So that's what I mean when I mean communication and preparation.
When did you notice the team start buying into this new culture?
After the Canada trip for me, I think the Canada trip was our biggest help. We had a bunch of games, 4 games coming in that didn't count, just so we know what our role was, what we needed guys to get better at, and what it feels like to play at a college level. So I think that was the biggest thing that helped us this year.
What have you told some of the younger kids about going on the road for SEC play? Obviously, you've played a few true road games, but nothing like you're going to see Saturday.
I haven't really spoken too much about it. You can't really tell them too much. It's going to be their first experience. But being their first experience, I remember my first experience, excited me. I was excited. I was nervous. So, I just my idea of it is just let them have their own reaction to it, and, they'll learn as the year goes on.
Breein, where would you like to see this team get better? Where do you think, what's the next step for you guys in improvement?
I say team rebounding. I still think we could become a way better rebounding team. Two of our losses, our rebounding margin was not that good, Cincinnati and Butler. So if we get better at rebounding the ball, especially at the guard spot, we can get out and transition more and, really show our athleticism on the open floor. So I think rebounding is what we need to get better at as a team.
What can you do to help in that area?
Like I said, even being a guard, a point guard at times, just rebounding down, helping the bigs box out, and just not relaxing when the shot goes up, just boxing out, hitting the body, and going to get the ball.
What was the break like for you guys? How much time away? Did you get to go home at all?
Yes, I got to go home right after we played, I think it was Middle Tennessee. The next day I got to go home, and then we came back the day after Christmas, so we got about 3-4 days.